Well, it seems like the PS5 Pro is back in the news for some rather interesting findings. And I gotta tell ya, it's not looking good. But let's get into all that up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So I think it's pretty safe to say here that the launch of the PS5 Pro has been a little bit of a rocky start, to say the least. I know the console is selling, but it's not selling out, and you guys know I am just simply not a fan of that price point. And when I look back to the PS4 Pro, I can't help but think at that point in time, there was a solid reason to go out and buy it. Performance on the base PS4 was pretty underwhelming, and it really struggled to run games at the time. Let's not forget 4K, at least at that point in time, was the thing that all gamers were chasing. Now, if we do compare that to today, especially with the base PS5 to the Pro, we really don't have that sizable margin, and that's all for the Pro to stand out amongst its competition. Now that brings us to today, where the console has been out in the wild for a few weeks now, and certain games are starting to get their patches to be on par with what the PS5 Pro could do. This, as it stands right now, is the biggest selling factor for the PS5 Pro. It's all of those shiny new game patches that will make them appear better and run buttery smooth. Well, hold the phone right there, because it does look like there's some problems with some titles on the PS5 Pro. And it looks like certain games, at least from what I gathered, run worse on the PS5 Pro compared to the base PS5. Now, I really don't blame Sony directly here, because they just provide the hardware. It's pretty much up to the developers of these games to work around that framework, but still, this is a pretty massive problem. And it's just not random people on the internet trying to stoke the flame between PlayStation and Xbox fans. I mean, let's look to reputable channels like Digital Foundry, who have made countless videos covering this exact issue. And oddly enough, this all circles back to what I thought was the biggest selling factor for the Pro, and that was PSSR, which is that AI upscaling. Now, I for one want to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here, because this is a very early piece of tech for Sony, especially for them to master and get everything down, so obviously there are some growing pains here. And it goes without saying, outside of these handful of titles, there are games that look absolutely stunning on the Pro. But one of the games in question here is Silent Hill 2, which is a shame because it's a brand new game, and it might be a game people have been holding off to play, specifically to play it on the PS5 Pro. Now, if I was one of those people who were holding off to play this game specifically on the Pro, I would be livid right now. And again, that's not with PlayStation. I think Bloober Team needs to take some of the blame here, since they were the ones tasked to create this enhanced version of the game. But more specifically, what is going on here is there's this shimmer effect within the game, and apparently it just looks plain awful while you're outside. Again, I want to stress the point, other games like Stellar Blade look amazing, and this problem, oddly enough, as much as I don't like the PS5 Pro, it's simply not on the Pro. It's on the software created for the Pro. That sounded weird, but you get what I'm saying. And when talking about PSSR strictly here, I think it would be better here to just have an option to turn it off completely, mainly because I'm sure the raw horsepower the Pro offers could fix up that game just fine without all that AI upscaling. I don't know, this is just a weird situation because all of these problems reflect bad on the PS5 Pro, and PlayStation specifically. And in turn, that could turn away what would be potential buyers for the Pro, especially around the holidays. And as it stands right now for the Pro, it has enough bad press around it, so this is pretty much just adding to that pile. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass this one off to you guys. What do you think of the PS5 Pro if you did get your hands on it? Let me know in the comments down below. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo, I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.